Bird is one of the great shooters in the history of the sport. Not even close. Not good. He was great. He's one of the top 5 3-point shooters of all time. That's how good Bird is. Oh, yes. Won 3-point shooting contests. He was phenomenal. Bird's a great shooter.
This is the face of a Larry Bird denier because one seemingly innocuous comment about
Redick?
how great of a 3-point shooter Larry Bird was had him all in his feelings.
Doggy, it's just math. It's attempts, it's makes, and it's percentage. And there's no way you could ever argue Larry Bird is a top 3 3-point shooter of all time. There's plenty of people that have shot more, and guess what? Made more at a higher percentage than Larry Bird from 3. He's not one of the greatest 3-point shooters ever.
He definitely is.
Now,
pros back then, there were cons back then. But to say anything disparaging about Larry Bird and his perimeter shooting and his 3-point shooting,
shoot his pants
asinine. Like JJ, he probably beat your ass in a 3-point shooting contest today.
though it sounds like hyperbole,
Man, that guy has no clue of how basketball was played in the 80s.
So the whole team is just stretching, and Larry just walks on the court, grabbed the ball, and started jacking threes like, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Like I'm like,
he still got it.
Everybody, I'm like, do y'all see this right now? And he made like at least 10 in a row threes.
10 in a row.
In a row.
He had to be like 60.
Sat like he ain't do nothing. Like, it was right
like he ain't do nothing.
Legs and just sitting there looking at us. I'm like, yo, this guy's nice. I'm like, man, that's a legend right there.
Straight up.
Speaking of,
well, JJ continues to embarrass his university and diminishes the worth of a Duke degree by speaking with such colossal ignorance in public, with such arrogance and authority. It's idiocy that suggests that a no hand-checking finesse league where people are camping out 42.5 feet from the basket is more physical than the NBA of 30. Oh my God, let's talk about 50 or 60 years ago. But even 30 years ago. When does he come up with this? This defies common sense.
You know what? Watch your mouth, man, when you're talking about former players and who can do this and who can do that.
Okay.
Because the game changed in the 80s because it was so physical.
There's something to be said for the guy who does it when you have to have it done, as opposed to those guys that can do it for the first 3 quarters.
Hey, JJ, I hope you're listening. Larry Bird was the first player to make the 3-point shot a strategic weapon. You weren't out there taking 14 or 15. He liked to use it as a dagger in the 4th quarter. Nobody else used it as strategically as Larry Bird did.
I guarantee you this, JJ Redick. If you had played in the 80s, this is Michael Cooper talking, I'd have locked your ass up. You wouldn't have got a shot off. You wouldn't have got nothing off. You had spent more time on the bench than on the floor. When I was on the floor, you couldn't have played when I was on the floor.
I mean, for JJ Redick to